Alright, so I'm going to be showing how to open up and disassemble this iPhone SE first generation. There's a 2016 model A1662. There's a model number down there, A1662. Alright, we're going to be replacing the battery on this because the battery is not holding up well. So to start, we're going to be using a Pentalobe 0.8 or a P2 screwdriver to remove the two screws from the bottom. All right, so let's go ahead and remove those. All right, so get that out. I might also need to declog the charge port for them because it looks pretty gross. So let me do that before I finish opening the screen. Okay, so we'll get the two screws out. Keep the screws in order because they are different size, shape, and lengths. So if you start taking things apart and you mix up the screws, then you're going to end up having issues. So make sure you keep them in order. Okay, I'm going to use this little metal toothpick thing. If you're going to do something similar, you want to make sure to verify which side the pins of the connector are so you don't scrape it. So it looks like they're towards the back of the phone here. So I'm going to scrape more towards the screen. And let's just clean this up. Okay, and there's some gunk in there, so we're going to clean that out. See that? Look at that gunk that's in there. Whoa. What was that, like a piece of bark? Anyways, clean that out. Okay. If you don't know what you're doing, you might want to skip this step because you can cause damage to the phone doing this. So you want to be careful. Okay, I'm going to try and scrape all this gunk around here off as well. That's kind of gross. Alright. Try and scrape all that off. Okay. And this is most likely because they had a case on, so all the gunk kind of accumulated around the openings. Alright, and then you can kind of clean this out, but yeah. Alright. Careful here. Alright, there we go. Kind of try and clean this up. At least a little bit. Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and throw this gunk away. Alright, next we're going to have to open the screen. The cable for the touch button is attached down. If I remember correctly, that's very similar to the iPhone 6s. This has a screen protector on it. If you can see, it's peeling away. So I don't usually like to use suction cups. I like to use a very thin metal tool, okay? And then I'll just get in the edge here, if I can. Let's see. Oh, it's actually also peeling up the screen protector a little. So we gotta be careful. Get under there, okay? And you just lift it very slightly. You don't want to push the tool in too far because if you push the tool in too far, you can end up damaging other components in there. Okay, so once you're lifting that, I'll get my fingernail, or you can get whatever little tool in there, a card or whatever, okay, just to hold it up slightly, and then we'll work our way around the side. Okay, once you get to the side, you just, again, I like to use this tool. It stops at the edge of the screen. Don't try and force it in, okay, and then you just lightly pry it up a little. Okay, again, you don't need to pry it up too far because the cable is in there and you don't want to rip it out. Okay, again, we're just gonna slowly pry it, work our way slowly down. Okay, and once we get towards the end, it will pop out. So now that you see it's up like that much, you can pull carefully by hand. You can see the cable in there. Okay, you want to be very careful with this. Okay, now that we got it that far, I'm gonna grab this and pull it slightly down. Okay, and then open it somewhat like a book here. Oh wait, no, actually this just goes straight up. We do have to pop this one out. Sorry, I was used to opening the other models. So now we got to get this little clip out. This little clip is kind of a pain to remove. Let me see if I can record it. It's going to be kind of difficult, I feel, but we're going to use some little tweezers here to get it out. Okay, so here you can see the metal clip. I'm going to get under here and we're just going to lift this up and out. Okay, so you get just barely part of the edge in there and you're going to lift that up towards the front here. You see, closer towards the bottom of the phone. it flips up like that, and then you can kind of wiggle it and get that out. And you can see the connector already popped itself out, but if it didn't pop itself out, you would use your fingernail or a little plastic tool to pop the edge of that and just pull it away from the board. Okay, so now that we got that, we can lift the screen up further. Be very careful because there are the cables, sorry, over here. Let me zoom out. Okay, so there are the cables here. It's hard to record this because I can't open it exactly all the way. We're going to switch over to a PH0 or JS0 screwdriver bit. Okay, so let's go ahead and swap over. All right, PH0. Depending on your screwdriver set, the PH0 might not be small enough. If that's the case, then you might need to switch over to a PH00. So let's go ahead and remove this. All right. Okay, so we got that screw. Okay, now that I got that out, I can open it slightly more. Again, there's 4 screws, and you want to keep them in order because they are different size, shape, and lengths. Okay, if you mix them up, you can cause damage. Also, you can see this screw is not as magnetic as the other one. So, yeah. And the way I keep them in order is I put them on my desk in the pattern I remove them. So they're in this square shape, so I just put them in that like little square pattern, slightly out of line square. So yeah, just put them back in that same pattern. Okay, so you can see this screw is magnetic, and then this screw as well. Oh, why does this one not want to come out? There we go. Okay. All right, so we got those 4 screws out. We're gonna carefully lift this metal plate and set that aside. All right, now we have access to the battery connector right here. If you want, you can disconnect the whole screen, but we're gonna disconnect just the battery for now, okay? Actually, to make it a little easier, all right, after disconnecting the battery, let's go ahead and press and hold the power button for at least 15 seconds. This will drain any excess power in the capacitors and things like that. Makes it a lot safer to work on. Okay, so it's only 15 seconds, just hold it down. You can hold it longer if you want, but yeah. Usually 15 seconds is plenty. All right, so there we go. Then we're gonna go ahead and pop these connectors out. So I just get my fingernail. Again, you can use plastic pry tools, but I get my fingernail and then just pop underneath there, just like this. Just get under the edge and then make sure you're just barely popping the edge up, okay? All right, so there's that. And then one more, this longer one. I don't know if you can even see this longer one here. Pop that, and there we go. So there's the screen assembly. We're not replacing the screen. If you are replacing the screen, you'd have to transfer all this stuff over, the home button and this. And I think I have some iPhone 6 or iPhone 6s where I show how to do that, okay? But we're not doing that for this model. All right, next thing we gotta do, we gotta remove the stretch release adhesive. So there's an adhesive under here, strip, that we're gonna have to separate and then stretch to remove, okay? If it ends up breaking, then we're gonna have a tough time. A lot of times it ends up breaking, but let's see if we can do it without breaking it. Okay, so you're gonna have to peel this away from the battery. It's hard to do this while trying to make sure you guys can see what I'm doing, but okay, so we'll peel this out. And if this breaks, then you have to kind of just pry the whole battery out, and it's kind of scary to do. Oh, wait, did I disconnect? This is for the battery, right? Let me double check. Oh, I was wrong. Sorry. The battery connector's actually under here. So I might have actually turned on the thing while it was still on. All right. I don't know. I didn't see the screen come on, so I'm confused. That's kind of strange. All right. Well, let's go ahead and remove these 2 screws as well so we can actually disconnect the battery this time. Hopefully that didn't cause any issues. All right. So we got that. And then this is actually the battery connector. Okay, I don't know why I thought this one was. All right, anyways, let's go ahead and press and hold the power button again, 15 seconds. Okay, all right. Sorry if I confused you guys. Hopefully you didn't just do exactly the same thing and then mess yours up, but yeah. If you use some metal tools, yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to like chop up this video so you'll just see it. But take that, all right. All right, and now let's go ahead and peel the thing for real this time. Okay, so you can peel this up. If you see underneath, there's like a white, oops, sorry, there's a white there, all right? That's the stretch release tape, So we're gonna go ahead and continue peeling this. It's really cramped close to here, so I don't know if we'll be able to just peel this out, but we'll do what we can. Okay. Wow, this tape is stuck on there strong. And then obviously you can use like pliers or whatever. You don't have to just peel it by hand. Part of me is like thinking, let me show you with the needle nose pliers here. So you can grab that, okay, and peel this up. But this one, is this design different? Doesn't look like it, but normally they'll have multiple tabs here, or they'll have a tab that you can cut. So this one's kind of strange. I might have to just pry the battery out if this doesn't, because I think this is actually peeling up to the battery itself. Yeah. So I think, oh, okay, my bad. You see that thing folded over there with that little hole? Okay, this is the design. You gotta get that up, okay? Yeah, I haven't worked on this model in so long. Okay, if I remember correctly, we have to like cut it in half because it has two separate strips attached, but we do need to kind of pry that out of there. So you can flip this thing up, okay? And again, there's a little hole there. So if you can hook into that, then you can get it out. There we go. Okay, so you can see, oops, hopefully you can see we got that. Okay. And both sides should come up. Come on. Okay. All right. So now we have the stretch release adhesive tab here. Okay, so we have this. All right, and I don't know if you can see, but there's two separate pieces here. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna use scissors or something to just split in between. I don't know, I don't have my scissors with me, so let's use this to just cut it. So I'm gonna use this little razor thing, and we're just gonna go in between and then cut them to separate it. Okay. All right, just to separate the two, and that will make it easier to pull one at a time. Okay. Oh wow, even with it cut like that, it's really strong. Oh, I think my other customer's here. Give me a second, I'll be back. All right, I'm back, so let's go ahead and get this apart. Again, there are two, and you wanna be very slow and gentle with this. Because the adhesive needs to slowly peel out. This phone is so old, I have a feeling the adhesive is just gonna break, but let's give it a shot. All right, so you basically just pull. Usually you want to pull it parallel to the battery, but we don't have an option to do that because all this other stuff is in the way. So we're gonna try and pull it over slightly sideways. Oh, you can see it tore itself. So we're probably gonna be screwed, and we're gonna have to just do it the hard way on this. But let's go ahead and try pulling this one out. You can see it doesn't want to come out at all. Yeah, we might be screwed. Sometimes it helps to, while you're pulling it, to push on the adhesive this way. Okay. And it's kind of working a little bit. I don't know. I'm just very slowly. Okay, that's working. You want to apply a very constant, slow pulling pressure. And you can hear it making that creaking sound. Okay, slowly, constant pulling. Again, if this tears, then you're just gonna have to break, basically pry the whole battery up. And yeah, the battery's gonna end up all with a bunch of dents in it. You're just gonna have to slowly keep pulling. And as you get more of it out, the battery, this will start lifting, so it will be easier, a little bit easier and easier. But you do want to continue to take it slow. Don't just try and yank it up real fast. Okay. Okay, and then the sharp points are usually going to be the ones that tear it. So try and avoid pulling it against the sharp corners of these pieces here. So I'm trying to center the adhesive over it and then just continue slowly pulling. Okay. And it helps to pull it as flat as possible, but if you pull it too flat, it's just going to rub over the sharp corner of the thing over here. So you can see how we're doing this. Okay, and this one's almost out. It's getting easier to pull as we get closer to the end. And there we go. So we got that, oops, sorry. We got that one out. Now we gotta get the other one out. This one, because the sharp metal thing, you can see it just tore. So what we're gonna have to do now, we're gonna actually have to pry this up, get in between here, make sure you're not damaging the little pieces on there. Let me actually zoom out. I keep zooming in and then it makes it hard to see. So we're gonna carefully try and pry underneath there, okay? And we're just gonna have to keep working our way under to pry it up. You can use like a thicker thing to get under there, like popsicle sticks or these kinds of things, okay? You can get under to make it pry even taller, higher, okay? Basically just need to wedge under there, and then we can hopefully get a hold of the adhesive again, but if we can't, we're just gonna have to continue slowly, very slowly prying this up. Okay, the slower the better, but if you need to get it done quick, then you're probably gonna end up breaking some of your tools. So here you can see the battery is getting bent slightly, okay, and you can see the adhesive strip underneath there that we're trying to get to, okay. If you can't, again, you'll just end up have to continue prying the whole thing out, which is a pain, but sometimes it's all you can do. All right, so we'll continue prying up. Continue prying this. All right, you can see, hopefully see the adhesive under there, getting all peeled up. Okay, just continue slowly applying force, separating the battery. Okay. All right, so you can see in there, if you can grab it with the needle nose pliers, then you can pull on it. All right, and you can see now it pulls easier. So I'm gonna hold that. Let's see if I can grab it. It's gonna get sucked back in. Jeez. Okay, grab in there and then pull this back. Let's see, hold that there. Come on, it keeps getting away from me. Be very careful with the connectors in there. Okay, so I'm gonna pull that and then, oops, come on. Hold that at the edge. And then now I can grab this and slowly continue pulling. Okay, and now we should be able to slowly pull this up sideways a little and cleanly remove the battery. Okay, now we can go from this side. There we go. And now that we've pulled it all, there we go, it released. So there's the old battery, got all bent up, but it is what it is. Okay, get the old residue out. Okay, now we got to get the replacement battery. Okay, so obviously Apple doesn't make these anymore. You have to get some aftermarket batteries. So we got that. Okay, it comes with replacement adhesive here. All right, so the way you do this, first, make sure you know which side goes where. Make sure it lines up. Make sure you'll be able to get everything into place. It's not gonna fit right the way like currently. So what you gotta do is hold it here, connect the battery. Okay, once you connect the battery, you have to push this down, okay? And then keep holding it, and then use the edge of the battery to push and bend the cable down into place. All right, and then now that you have the correct like area, like what do you call, folds into this, then you can take the battery back out. Okay, the adhesive strip comes like this. So what you do, you want to separate the blue layer here. Come on, let go. So you want to roll it and push down. All right, so as you roll this adhesive protection off, you want to roll it like this, because if you pull it straight up, it'll create bubbles into the pink layer of the, like where the adhesive sits, and then you're going to have some issues. Then you want to make sure that these two small tabs go to this side. Okay, so you just line this up like this. Okay, have a little bit of this edge here showing. Line that up, stick that down. Okay, flip it over, make sure to get the adhesive to stick down the entire battery, just like this. Once you've done that, fold this over on top, just like this. Okay, so the newer models, this is how they do the battery strips. You see, that's why I was peeling the bottom off, because usually they'll have this on top. All right, that's how it normally is. All right, then we'll roll this back, or that's how the new designs are. I mean, not how it normally is. So I'm used to working on those, and there we go. Okay, next thing we're gonna do, again, we do need to stick this back in, right? So we're gonna click the battery connection on. Okay, then while we're holding the battery connection, push this all the way as far in to the main board over here as possible, and then lower the battery down into place while holding it there. And there you go. So now you have this bigger gap on the side for the screen to go in. Okay, since now we did connect that, we're going to disconnect the battery, and then again hold the power button for at least 15 seconds to drain any residual power. All right, makes it safer to work on and less likely for the screen to have any weird issues or to fry something here. Okay, so we'll hold it for a few more seconds. All right, then we'll go ahead and reconnect this little connector here. Okay, make sure it lines up. Don't try and force it down if it's not lining up. You can tell because it catches when you're trying to click it in. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get the screen stuff back in. So just line everything up here and then click this back in. This is a little tricky. Like, it feels like it's connected and lined up, but it's not staying in the right places. Okay, line it up, click it down, there we go. Then get all the rest in, line this up, click that down, line this up, and click that down. All right, so now we got all of that in. We'll put in the square plate. Okay, the only sucky thing with this design is you don't have a way to test it. Let me try if let's try a PH000 screwdriver. Oh, that might work better. Oops, I'll use my PH000 screwdriver to get these in. Okay, and we'll start with the bottom screws, not the top ones, because that holds it in place, this metal plate. Okay. All right, carefully screw that down lightly. The other one. Okay. Get that in. There we go. Perfect. Tighten that down. Get the other one. Sorry, this video was so messy and unorganized. I'm gonna have to tell people to like watch the entire video before proceeding. But all right, get that screwed down. All right, get this one. Oh yeah, this one has issues with the magnetization. So as you can see, the screw doesn't stick to it. So this one is the problem screw. You have to kind of like just drop it in there and then try and get it to line up and fall into the hole. And then there we go. Okay. Next, we're gonna reconnect the battery here. Okay. The thing is, we have to connect this last because there's no way to screw this in without the battery being connected. All right. And then the very tricky part is getting that little metal latch thing back over the fingerprint home button. We'll get this one in. Okay, loosely fit it. Don't tighten it all the way down because you do need a little bit of movement to make sure the bottom screw hole lines up. Then get that screw in. Okay, and then tighten that as well. Okay, next we're gonna need a small little tool like this. This is the tricky part, is getting this little connector lined up. Okay, so you gotta kind of like get in there, hold it in place with your finger, and then use this to kind of like smash it down into place. Okay, flip it over, use the flat side. Okay. All right, seems it's good. All right, so that's connected. Let's go ahead and power it up, make sure it's working. Hold the power button down, and you can see the Apple logo is coming on. There's also dirt in their ear hole, so clean that up. All right, you can see it's a lot better. It's not all brown. Okay, so it's powering on. We do want to test the home button once. All right, so we'll wait till it turns on, and then we'll press the home button, and then we should be good. All right, so here you go. Now if I cancel this and then I press the home button, you can see it responds. So it should be good. Now we got to go ahead and slide this back on. So the way this works, you can see, oops, sorry, you can see the two little hole things. That's the back portion, and then the part that goes towards the bottom of the thing has this one little latch on the front. So let's go ahead and get this on. Oh, I have customers texting me, so I might have to go, but let's try and do this. I don't know how I'm going to show this, okay? This is showing. Okay, so I don't know how I'm going to show this because I have to like carefully hold this up and then get this to go in there. So it's really difficult to get this in. So you got to get all lined up perfectly and then click it down. Actually, needle nose pliers might be better. Haven't done one of these in so long. Come on. This is the hardest part. There we go. Line that up. And then click it down. All right, then you want to take a look, make sure everything is in and lined up, and it looks good. So now get the top portion in first. So you need to slide that in and then go down, click it in. There we go. And we'll now put back the P2 Pentalobe 0.8 screws, and we're good to go. All right, the last few screws. Okay, and we'll tighten that in place. Oops, sorry. And the last one. Oh, geez. Stop texting. All right, and screw that in. And there we go. That's pretty much it. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. If it did, like, comment, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their device as well. And if it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. All right. If you can't help out that way, it would help a lot if you could watch a few of my other videos and then like and comment on those as well, because that's what the algorithm likes to see. But other than that, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Let's get a thumbnail here, and I'll see you all in the next one. All right, let's drop this. Bye.